Welcome back to the latest edition of FinFloor's Good to Great series. Today we're tackling how to clean your floors. And so many people are getting it wrong, and that's why everybody's exploring the YouTube and whatever person who knows a little bit about flooring about how to clean floors. You would think it'd be so basic. Well, we're gonna get into it on how you can keep your floors looking like this and that they're not looking like this. All right, when it comes to cleaning your floors of vinyls, SPCs, laminates, and even your engineered wood timber flooring products, it's actually quite simple. There are some basic principles you need to follow, and we're going to get into those principles today. Ultimately, we need to protect our floors from dirt entering our homes or workplaces in the first place. So that's where a typical walk-off mat is going to save you a whole lot of sweat further on down the line. So when you get these floor mats that will absorb water, moisture, mud, and take off that grit, it's going to save that surface of your floor and give you longevity and a cleaner looking floor for longer. Ultimately, we need to get into a general sweeping and vacuuming routine. This is going to remove that loose surface dirt before it gets tramped into the surface. Again, make sure that you're following the particular product's cleaning specifications with regards to vacuum beater bars. Some of these different types of vacuums can damage your floor, so just make sure that you do follow the instructions before you finalize that cleaning regime. Obviously, every living space is dynamic. If you've got a flow from your living space into a pool and you know the kids are going to be running in with wet feet, this is something to pay attention to and understand how your living space or dynamic works. And you can put the various preventative measures in place, again, preventing that contamination of your interior floor from it being accelerated. All right, now I need to get into the tools, and this is where it can get quite opinionated, and there are loads of different products out there in the marketplace, but I think we need to focus on the basic principles of what is required to clean the floor. All right, so when it comes to the bucket, do you need one bucket or do you need two? Well, actually, for the perfect cleaning solution, you actually need two buckets, and we're going to get into this. But besides having two individual buckets, you do get buckets that are divided into sections, and this is one of the most critical elements in cleaning your floor. You need two buckets. Stay tuned, we're going to get into that. The other element is the cleaning apparatus. You know, it could be your string mop, it could be a microfiber cleaning broom like this one. The cleaning apparatus is absolutely critical in being almost that mechanical element that contributes to your cleaning regime. Ultimately, we want to make sure that we put the least amount of liquid on your floor as possible. So that's my personal preference is the microfiber dust broom, but you can use a string mop if you squeeze it out properly. The problem is most people don't. They slop it around and they do a sloppy cleaning methodology, and that ultimately damages floors at a high rate of knots, and it's almost like a loaded gun. It's dangerous. So understand the tools that you're using and who's going to be doing the cleaning. Make sure that they are properly trained, because the wrong apparatus in the wrong hands can destroy your floors. Finally, we'll get into the cleaning agent. Okay, so there are loads of different products out there in the marketplace, and it can get very confusing. Also, budget is a real factor, and we need to balance all of these variables up into our cleaning regime. Now, ultimately, most floors require a pH neutral cleaning agent, and we want to make sure that we are using a cleaning agent that is designed for the floor type. When you start using things like dishwashing liquid because you've all of a sudden run out of your favorite flooring cleaning solution, dishwashing liquid can actually be really harmful, especially to vinyl floor options, where the phenols in some of the cheaper dishwashing liquids can actually attack the PVC polyvinyl chloride. Also, a lot of these different cleaning agents have foaming agents and wetting agents, etc., that are not necessarily going to be contributing to an easy clean solution for you, because when you are spraying these cleaning solutions on, you're not rinsing them off enough, and we're leaving a sticky residue, which while initially your floor looks super clean, it unfortunately is sticky. It'll still leave footprints that you'll see almost like a haze in the highlight, or it will attract the dirt. So that loose dirt that we initially vacuumed and swept up, that now sticks into the sticky residue and accelerates your floor looking dirty for a much longer period of time. Now we're going to get into why the bucket is so important. All right, the rinsing regime of having 2 buckets is absolutely critical. You're going to prevent your floor from creating this kind of end result of where, as I mentioned earlier with your cleaning solution, is that you are leaving that residue on the surface and it's attracting dirt. Now, if we're not rinsing the floor correctly because of the cleaning solution, or because we are creating a lot of gray, dirty water. So if you've ever washed a floor, you know that when you're rinsing your cleaning apparatus in that bucket, the water becomes gray and dirty. Now, that's a good sign because it means you're removing dirt from the floor surface and you're depositing it into that water. But unfortunately, we don't rinse these applicators often enough, okay? Also, when we are using our cleaning liquids, we are not removing enough of this from the surface. So you can see how it's a bit of a multifaceted approach on we need to rinse the floor correctly and we need to have the right cleaning liquid so that we can not leave that residue on the surface. Now, when we are rinsing the floor, we want to take our dirty cleaning apparatus and clean it in a clean water bucket. Once it's clean and we've removed majority of the dirt, we squeeze it out to leave that dirty water on the dirty water side, and then we go across to our cleaning solution, our diluted cleaning solution, where we'll then dip it in, rinse it out so that it's nice and dry, and then we will go back to cleaning our floors. And that's the process that we repeat. Now please hold on. You've got to do this on a regular basis as you are busy cleaning your floor. You can't clean the entire floor with 1 or 2 rinses. You've got to continually maintain that relationship of wiping the floor, checking the underside, is it holding dirt, and then going into your rinsing cycle. That is one of the most key important elements in preventing your floor from holding dirt, and the dirt especially gets held especially along the skirting lines, in the texture. You can see how bold this texture is. It's because all that dirty water has now been layered in the texture of the wood or in the grooves of the plank, and that's what gives us this result. So, now you know how to clean your floors. Now you know how to keep them looking brand spanking new. Remember, the least amount of liquid on your floor is going to safeguard them over the long term. Don't use that sloppy cleaning apparatus. Don't put too much water on the floor because that will damage your floor. If you found this video informative and you got any questions for us or FinFloor, please hit us up in the comments below. And please, as always, share a little bit of love. Ding!